This is the Star Wars Millennium Falcon by Beast Kingdom. These are about 170, 180 bucks. You can buy them from a place like Big Bad Toy Store or Sideshow.com. If you bought this, one thing you might notice right off the bat is that your base does not look like this base. And that's going to become even more apparent when we plug it in. So the first thing I want to discuss is plugging it in. What you get in the box is a USB-C to a USB-C, and you have to find your own adapter. Some plugs have a USB-C output, a lot of extension cords have a USB-C output, but you know what? They won't work. If you plug this in using a USB-C on any of the extension cords that I found, or a USB-C on anything like a chair or a computer, your base doesn't light up. If you use a USB-C adapter, this one I think is for an iPhone 16. Same extension cord, and we come down here and voila, your base is now lit. This is where the difference between what you bought and what you got is even more apparent. The light on this base is very bright white, it's not blue. But in today's video, we're gonna fix that. You might be wondering why I have this black circle on top of this one. It's actually a piece of vinyl that I cut out. I did that to protect the surface because I almost guarantee that when you're putting this on, it's gonna flop off to one side or the other. Or if your power goes off while it's on, it's gonna fall. This does not magnetically center and stay with the power off, by the way. It has to be plugged in. And if this falls on this surface, it's gonna hit hard and it's gonna scratch your surface. In fact, under this vinyl is a whole series of chips and dings and scrapes from the many misadventures that I had trying to get this to balance on my base. When you get your Millennium Falcon, you'll find this inside. And this is more important than you might think. What they suggest doing is putting this here. When you're placing your Millennium Falcon, it's gonna slip off. If it doesn't, good for you, but it will. This little foam square will protect your base. I should have used it, I didn't. But in the event of a power outage, it's not gonna matter anyway. Your Millennium Falcon's gonna fall. The Falcon itself actually seems pretty durable. I haven't noticed any scratches on this part, but the base scratches very, very easily. For your viewing pleasure, and without this foam pad, I will place the Millennium Falcon on this base. As you do this, you're gonna feel resistance from side to side. The magnets are very powerful. You can see if I do this, it will lift the whole base up. And to get it to stay, you've got to center it just right. I recommend keeping your hand, oh, there it goes. I recommend keeping your hands underneath until you feel absolutely no pull in any direction whatsoever. It's a game of patience, friends. Just made a scratch. But it's inevitable. That's what I'm saying. I don't think you can do it without scratching it. All of a sudden, when you least expect it, it'll just work. This button turns the lighted features in the ship on and off. The lighted features are these running lights on the front, and then of course the rear engine lights, and there's lights underneath as well. Each piece has we'll call it a home position, and that is a position where the Millennium Falcon will not rotate. This model includes a gun that can go on the bottom, but personally, I think that reduces the amount of space between the ship and the base to a point where it's not as visually impressive. So I recommend leaving that gun off. This technology is pretty fun. It's been around for a long time. In fact, I believe Beast Kingdom released something like this 7 years ago. Same thing, Millennium Falcon, but it was floating on, I think it was a Hoth ice base. So what we're doing today is changing our light from white to blue. I got these on Amazon. These are little plastic colored sheets. They were about $10. And all I really need is this one. When you remove the Millennium Falcon, I suggest just putting both hands underneath and then lifting it up. There is also a plastic display stand that's provided, and you can attach that to the Millennium Falcon on the bottom. You can set that on top of the base or to the side, And that way your Millennium Falcon will stay safe in case the power goes out. Our base got that bright white light, and I want this cool blue light. I'll put a link to this. Such a good deal. If you were feeling, sithy, you could make that light red, or you could do a pink, but we are going to do blue. Now, how do we do blue, you ask? Well, we're just gonna take this thing apart. One thing to keep in mind when you're taking things apart that are heavily magnetized is that your screws can get stuck to those magnets, so we're gonna set them off here on this. So here is our LED strip. Goes around here. I think it would have been pretty cool if they'd given the option to control the color of that strip. I also think it would have been cool if there was an option to turn that light on and off, because once the unit is plugged in, the light is always on. Another thing they could have done that would have been super easy is simply to make this plastic ring blue. I'm not sure why they opted for white or clear. If you notice, there's some shadows around the base. Those are the posts here, where the two pieces attach to each other. There's nothing you can do about that. They could have fixed that by moving the LED strip out behind this. It doesn't matter, not a big deal. I thought that felt funny. This actually has a protective layer on there. I can't remove this. I don't want to do any soldering, so I'm not going to pull anything out. We're going to make the modification to this ring with the ring still going around these wires here. So what I'm going to do is fabricate a strip and put that on the inside. Looks like I will need 2 lengths. I'll just figure out where to put those seams when I finish fabricating this little diffuser liner. Just going to mark the width I need here. Probably don't even need it to go the whole way. Good enough. I don't think we have to be perfectly accurate. I'm gonna see if I can just slide these in without gluing them. Maybe they'll just stay. We could probably even see what this looks like at this point. So then with that color, we get this blue. I should go get some tape, and I should just do this the right way. The hope here is that if you do this, it goes better for you. A little bit quicker. Okay, I'm gonna go like that. I'm gonna overlap them, maybe that much. With them overlapped, that would give a little more structural integrity. If they were just sort of touching, you'd have that going on. But if I have them overlap and bend in this way, we should be in really good shape. Just run this under here. I'll try and position that overlap behind one of these screws. And then this overlap, I will position behind this screw. I'm gonna cut here. Okay, and then I've got to cut all right, and now I've got my blue filter here that I've made. And that's going to sit in front of this diffuser. And I'm going to line up my little cut points with screws that are already here, creating shadows, and ta-da. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. And then we put this back on. So we've got to line these posts up, and this one's not quite lined up. So I did the alignment off camera. There's nothing really complicated. You just have to make sure the post pieces on the top and the bottom line up, and then you can screw your screws back in. Let's see, with our blue filter, what happens. That's pretty cool. We have a nice blue glowing base. I'm gonna go set this up on my piano where it usually sits, and we'll see if we like it. Seems pretty good. No complaints. So let's turn the lights off and see how this looks. Oh yeah. I like that blue much, much better. That is the Millennium Falcon by Beast Kingdom. If you get yours, good luck. Hope you enjoyed it. It's a cool toy. Certainly a lot of fun. That's it for this time. We'll catch you later.